So, Mulan 2020. Let's fix this. Hey, what's up people, this is Dark Trades. My name is Joshua Dow and I'm an artist, and I want to start off by saying that I have not watched the new live-action Mulan movie because it is an extra $30 on top of what you're already paying for Disney+, so yeah, I'm not gonna do that. However, I have done a little bit of research, I have looked into what people are saying, and there seems to be a lot of issues with this movie, including that the main actress allegedly supports the oppression of Hong Kong, that the state of China has like full control over the script, so like dictating what is said and whatnot, so nothing can be used against China, and that the movie is apparently just trash and something completely different from the 1998 animated movie, which was a perfectly great story. Yeah, apparently they basically just made Mulan a superhero. However, I can't really do anything about these issues because I do not have another $200 million, which is what they spent on the making of this movie. But I can address one of the issues, which is that they did not include a live-action Mushu. Granted, looking at those other issues, this might be a minor point, but who doesn't love Mushu? So what I'm going to do today in this video is paint a live-action Mushu on Procreate, and yeah, trying to stay fairly accurate to the 1998 animated movie, but make it also look like realistic. Alright, let's get into it. So, Mushu, let's start out with a sketch in the top corner of my screen as always, and then pull it big and go in straight with the colors. And if you watch my channel, you might have noticed that this is a very different approach than I usually do, because what I tend to do on this channel is digital drawings and not digital paintings. The difference being mostly that my digital drawings are very line art heavy, like I even use line art and not a lot of details in the coloring or anything. Well, this is more of a digital painting, so it's a lot more closer to realism, and yeah, a lot more attention paid to color theory, how things would react in lighting and stuff like that. Like yeah, more as if something was realistic. And I also work a lot more with different brushes, and I mean, since there's no line art, it's all about the colors, so yeah, a lot more texturized and everything. So yeah, that's essentially my digital painting process. I haven't really done it on this channel before, only in my 1 hour 1 layer challenge video, which you can find in the card, but that was very different because I only did that for 1 hour, which meant that it's a lot less refined than my usual paintings, and also it was painted off of a picture, and usually I tend to come up with the things that I paint on my own, using references, yes, but only to spark ideas or see how other people use different styles or different textures in different ways and stuff like that, but not painting exactly what I'm seeing in front of me onto my screen. Anyway, so yeah, painting Mushu here. This is actually one of my first creature designs. I think I've drawn one other dragon since I have been taking drawing seriously, but not really. And I feel like I'm not good at it because I'm not very good at drawing animals, but I guess it's a very different thing, drawing creatures and drawing animals. And so far it's been like, this painting was a lot of fun, and I think I need to dabble with creature design a little bit more, because I think there's some fun opportunities to work with there, because I also really like drawing people. Like, that's my main thing, drawing people, and I feel like in creature design you can lean into that very much. Like, for example, just the anatomy of the arms I almost completely copied from human anatomy, and I feel like creature design gives you a lot more freedom with what you want to adapt from human anatomy than just drawing animals. So yeah, I might do that in future videos. Let me know if you're interested in that. I felt like digital painting was a lot more appropriate for this type of creature design, because obviously I'm doing a live action, or so sort of what a live action of Mushu would look like. So doing something as a digital drawing, which is even more sketchy than the animated version itself, that wouldn't be making a lot of sense. So I'm doing it with my more realistic style that you're seeing right here. Yeah, so at this point, I wasn't really liking where this was going, because one thing about digital paintings is that I feel like it's not only a lot harder because there's a lot of more things that you have to consider, and also because takes a lot more time, but also because I guess liking your artwork curve is a lot steeper. So it takes a lot of time until you begin to like your artwork, and in the beginning you're sitting there and working on it for hours and hours, and you're thinking, oh, I don't like this, I've been wasting my time. But you just have to push through it, and at some point you get to a point where you begin to see what's like all coming together, and you begin to see, okay, I've put enough effort into that part is good, and this is starting to look good and everything, and yeah, it just starts to make sense in your head. And but that point tends to come pretty late, for me at least. So yeah, that's one of the struggles with digital paintings. Here, yeah, I just made the snout of the dragon, of Mushu, a lot longer, which is one of the things that made me like this painting a lot more. I'm also about to make his head smaller, which also doesn't make it look like it's like floating in front of his body so much. It makes it look like it's more part of the body. But yeah, one of the main issues I had with this, or the main things that took away time, was trying to find the balance between detail and smoothness in this painting. I think that's also always a big part of it, because like I said, one thing that I really love about digital painting is the textures in it. And I only learned that very late in my process of becoming an artist and doing digital paintings, because usually when you think of digital artworks, you think of the very smoothness that you're not able to do traditionally, like just taking a round airbrush and painting a very smooth gradient and everything. And I do not like the way that looks at all. Like I'm not a big fan. So when I started figuring out that people who were doing digital paintings often used a lot of textures in it, making it almost look more textured than traditional paintings, that's when I really started like enjoying the process a lot more, and finding what works for me and stuff like that. I feel like dabbling with different textured brushes and seeing how you can smudge it in a way that it looks like that, and applying that texture to that part of the body and to that piece of cloth or something. I think that's one of the most enjoyable parts of digital paintings. However, where was I going with this? That was the hardest part, though, finding a balance between having that and having too much of it, like having too much detailed, textured things, or being too smooth with not enough details and looking unfinished. I was fairly in the beginning of the painting. I was already happy with all the back part of the body, because I feel like when you do a painting, you have a focal point, and for me that focal point was definitely the head and the right arm. That's like, yeah, the front arm. So everything in the back didn't have to be detailed at all. So I left it very rough. Yeah, still textured, but also a lot lighter, a lot less contrast, which is important point of having like a focal point. So like all the back part of his body and the foot that he wraps himself around, that's supposed to be Mulan's foot. I don't know if that's clear or not. I don't really mind, because again, it's not part of the focal point. So if you see that it's Mulan's foot, that's good, but it's not vital to the piece. But anyway, all of that I was pretty happy with right in the beginning of the painting, because it was shaded a little bit, textured a little bit, still looking pretty rough, but yeah, I was happy with it. It could stay that way. What really had to be like perfectly balanced and more detailed and everything was the front part, so the focal point, so the head and the arm. And as you're seeing right here, I wasn't happy with that at all. It was too cluttered, too much contrast, too much ups and downs, and yeah, it's just not something you would want to look at it. I don't think you would necessarily know where to look when looking at this head right now, the way it is right now. So it was just, my process was just a bunch of back and forth between smoothing out things with the smudge tool, which I love, and painting details back in, like back and forth until the point where I liked the way it was going. And yeah. Between all of that, though, the first time working on creature design, really, and trying to find that balance between textured and not textured and smooth, what fell a little bit short was the lighting in this scenario. So I tried at some point putting in like very determined lighting to make sure where the sun was standing and where the light was coming from and everything, and the reflection of the snow and the ambient light and everything. But I felt like it was kind of taking away from the painting, because it was just one more thing I had to struggle with. So that is something that I kind of ignored a little bit in this digital painting, because I didn't want it to kind of muddle with what I was already dealing with. But I don't feel like it's a big loss on this, because this is like a very misty, foggy, snowy day anyway, probably overcast, so there wouldn't be a very strong lighting source anyway. Alright, the artwork is signed. I'm so happy with how it turned out, and again, I really enjoy making digital paintings, even though it's a longer and more tedious process than just digital drawings. Please make sure to let me know in the comments what you think about this video and about the artwork, because I would love to know whether you prefer digital paintings or digital drawings. Let me know down in the comments. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, everything that you don't want to hear, but I do ask you to do. And now let's take a look at the final result. Okay, again, super happy with how this turned out. That was a really successful video in my opinion. What do you think? Do you think this is an accurate representation of what a live action Mushu could look like? Or do you think I just missed it and it would have been a horrible part in an already not so good live action Mulan movie? Let me know in the comments as well. Okay, for now you can click here to subscribe to my channel, find a playlist you might like right here, and a video you might enjoy right here. I'm just gonna hang around in the frame until you click on something. Make sure to click on something, and I'll see you in the next video.